Gosling. But those comments today or yesterday, I don't like those comments coming out from Gosling.
Let's talk about that for a second, all right? Because Gosling makes both of our Mount Rushmores no matter what. We will be there for him no matter what. Gosling says he's done with the psychological thrillers. He says that he's done with the darker type of roles that he took on in the mid 2000s into the early 2010s. And even you can consider Blade Runner 2049 and 2017 kind of a darker psychological type of role. He's so good at them. But his recent turn with started with like Crazy Stupid Love, and then has kind of turned and morphed into and evolved into Barbie, into the Fall Guy, into
The Nice Guys.
the Nice Guys, like
Big
all
Short.
these type of roles. What I've kind of realized is that this news, it sucks, but it doesn't bother me whatsoever because it's not gonna. He was great at it, but he's great at everything. Like he is the type of dude. He makes any movie he's in as the lead, right, astronomically better, and he's good at everything. Like he is the coolest cat, which makes him great for this type of movie, but he has the acting chops that garners like an Oscar nomination for him. You know, he is just someone that can gel in whatever movie. So although it hurts, it ain't the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. I just wish, like, the problem is he doesn't have an Oscar, similar to Jake G. I think he only has 2 noms. I'm sorry, not this. Barbie and La La Land. Is that right?
Was he nominated for Half Nelson?
Ooh, 06 movie, 07 Oscars. I could check.
I can tell you've been doing research for today's draft.
Maybe just a little. I will say I've seen all the. Wow, he did get nominated for Half Nelson.
He's a beast.
He is a beast. That was a long time ago.
That's a check for Dr. O. That's a point for Dr. O for nailing that.
+1. But the problem is he doesn't have an Oscar, and it's similar to Jake Gyllenhaal, where it's if you don't have one, like that should be like the pinnacle, right? Like obviously right now he's turning into just a movie star, a little bit more than that, but with no Oscar, which I think he deserves one, but he doesn't have one. All great actors should aspire to have one, and I think the thing is like the psychological thrillers. Yeah, okay, those movies don't usually get recognized by the Oscars consistently. So okay, I'm fine with it, even though that's my favorite genre. That's why like maybe he's not in my Mount Rushmore anymore. But we can get to that at another episode. But I'm just saying, like, as long as he keeps doing the La La Lands of the world, or even the Big Shorts, then I'm fine with that because then he still has that Oscar aspirations that the great actors that we love are gonna go for, you know. And Jake G. He took a little break, similar to Gosling a little bit, but Jake G's gonna get back into it, and you just know that because it's Jake G. Gosling now, it's like, okay, he's kind of cut out some of that like Blue Valentine Drive. Like he won't be doing those movies anymore, and those are the type of movies where you get nominated for Oscars.
It's all dependent on what director he works with because he 1 minute could be working with Denis Villeneuve, 1 minute he could be working with Greta Gerwig, right, or he could be working with David Leitch and Shane Black. You know what you're kind of in store for just based on who he's working with. You know what the tone's going to be, and you know he's going to nail it no matter what. And you know he's going to be the lead.
I say all this, and I'm making a prediction on this podcast today, pre-production on his next project Hail Mary, Hail Mary, with Phil Lord and Chris Miller, astronaut trying to save Earth, but he's alone in outer space, off of an Andy Weir book. Who also wrote The Martian, this movie is a direct, very complimentary type of movie, maybe for a double feature. I think he gets nominated for that movie. He's on such a heater.
That is a way too early prediction. I don't hate it. I can see it in the stars just because Matt Damon, right, had probably his strongest case to win Best Actor from The Martian. I see it in the stars. I potential forecast, right?
All I'm trying to say is that I don't want him to just like settle in and do like what Jake G has done in recent years, where he's just doing the fall guy going forward and movie star roles and just relying on his charisma and movie stardom. I want him to keep pushing himself. It won't be to Blade Runner 2049 levels, which I understand after these quotes. And he's already done those type of roles, so he's not like it's lacking on his resume. but I still want him pushing for that Oscar for these great roles and not just going, oh, I'm a movie star, I'm just gonna do movie star roles.
He's very similar to Jake Gyllenhaal, right? With their career, like their young actor breakthrough. When you think of like Donnie Darko for Gyllenhaal, what route does he go? Like the indies and also like the prestige type with like Brokeback Mountain a few years later, right? And here, yeah, and then he does Zodiac with Fincher a couple years later, and it's just very similar type of route. And Gosling, after he has the Notebook, he then goes into like Half Nelson, Blue Valentine, like these type of dark psychological films. But they kind of are both on that on right now at that level where they're pure movie star. And the thing is, Gosling, honestly, I think is better than Gyllenhaal. I'm willing to say that.
Let's just clear the air.
But
He
uh,
is. He's
he
the
is
Goss God for a reason.
because Gosling will never go full tilt like Gyllenhaal and have it feel out of control. Like Gosling always feels like he is the man in everything. Sometimes Jake Gyllenhaal lets the crazy get the best of him, but Jake Gyllenhaal, he's very similar because he can do it all, you know? But the closest thing that Gosling has had, like in terms of a project that's like, man, that's really beneath you, is probably The Gray Man. Probably The Gray Man, but he is so good. He makes every project like that's legitimate, like Roadhouse with Gyllenhaal, like that all doesn't really feel legitimate. It's not getting a theatrical release. Gyllenhaal's doing a TV show now, and Gyllenhaal, we see him go off the rails in a way, in a project that really just doesn't click. I feel like that just doesn't happen with Ryan Gosling.
I agree. I just think that the only thing I'll say that I might disagree with you a little bit is that I think Gyllenhaal could get to the point in his acting dramatically where Gosling, no matter how hard he tries, can never go. Like, I don't think Gosling, like, Blade Runner 2049 was basically his Prisoners with Denny V. And I think, like, what Jake G did in Prisoners, Gosling couldn't do as well. I don't think he can go to that extreme that, like, some of the best actors, like the Leos, could do. I like Jake G, I think, could get to that level. He just doesn't do it consistently. And he's like he has a lot of charisma. Obviously, he's Jake Gyllenhaal, but like Ryan Gosling is like the king of charisma right now.
Yeah.
He is the king of the movie stars. But obviously, like, Tom Cruise and stuff. No, this guy owns 2024 for male movie stars, male actors.
He might be number one right now. He might be number one. If we had a draft to all like movie stars like under 45, like he might be number one in terms of power rankings. That's like
I think he's like 43.
But what I want to say is that I think the perfect way to describe it is that the baseline, right? The highest floor of the two is Gosling, but the highest ceiling goes to Gyllenhaal.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. Remember when we did the race to the Oscars, like one of the first episodes we ever did between these two? I think we literally are. You could tell like we both love Gosling and we both love Gyllenhaal, but you are still like you have your faith in Gyllenhaal. I still have my faith that Gosling will win the first Oscar. It's amazing to come back to this take, something that we started 3 years ago, and it feels like we're coming full circle. We just need one of them to end this debate and win a goddamn Oscar.
Well, the other one we did, Shia LaBeouf, Miles Teller.
Who took what side of that one?
I think we both took Shia.
That was crazy.
Hey, who has a movie coming out more recently? Shia LaBeouf, Megalopolis.
Yeah, he's in that, isn't he?
Yes.
But do you think they cut him out of that?
No, I think it's Francis Ford Coppola. He's doing whatever he wants with this movie. It's his dime. He literally handpicked everybody for this. He's not gonna get nominated for it. I'm not saying that. I'm just I like that, like our debates with these like up and coming actors or people that we like, they're not going well for the Oscars.
Shia at the time was fully on the comeback train, right? He was cast in Don't Worry, Darling, right? Remember, then he's replaced by Harry Styles. He hadn't done The Tax Collector yet with David Ayer. He had the Peanut Butter Falcon, right? He had Honey Boy. Like he was
Honey Boy. He should have been nominated for that.
And that was like the classic, like, I need to get back on the right track. I'm going to write my own story. I think he directed. Did he direct? I don't know.
No.
But he played his father, right? A very personal type of story, the one that gets you back. And like if you hit that, then all of a sudden everyone loves you again. But then he had the cancellation and everything. I don't know. The next time we're going to see him, Miles Teller seems like he's in a much better position